Hello everyone, this is Chris. Today was another tutorial. There has been a lot of activity on our channel, a lot of new subscribers and also very kind comments. So sorry for being away for so long time. We have been busy with some projects, but today we're going to make a new tutorial and it's going to be about stairs. So this is what you can see right now is something we want to produce today, and let's start out. So at first I'm going to create a default scene. I'm going to switch to the properties tab when pressing N in order to activate the screencast, so you can see what I'm doing over there. I'm going to select cube and lamp, and when pressing the X button I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to add a mesh plane and just scale it down in the X direction in order to create some basic step that we can use for our stair. So I'm going to switch to the array modifier, and instead of the relative offset I'm going to use the constant offset. And I want to increase the step in order to make some decent slope, just like this. And maybe you can see that there is an issue, right? So we have the set distance is 1.7 meter. As you can see, the grid, so this is always 1 meter. This is not working, right? So we have an issue here, and the issue is that we have scaled this plane down in the X direction. When we press the N tab and we're switching to item, we can see that the X scale over there is 0.181, and this scale that we're going to specify here, as you can see, is influencing the array modifier. So keep in mind, if you want to have precise modeling options here, what you have to do is you have to press Ctrl A and you have to apply the scale. As you can see, the scale is 1 again in every direction of the object, and this units do look precise right now. So we have 1 meter 74, so this is going to work out somehow. So if we're going to decrease this to some decent size, 40 centimeters, I don't know, a stair I guess is 36 or something like that. In the X direction we can also scale it a little bit to a decent factor. So keep in mind your local rules, but also very important for architectural modeling, when using the modifier tab, if you want to have precise numbers here, keep in mind to press Ctrl A and apply the scale in order to have precise measurements here. So what we can do, of course, is we can increase the amount of the copies, and we have a simple stair that we can already use for modeling some stuff, right? But of course we want to go one step further. We want to create a path that is going to transform this stair in order to have more possibilities in our design. So we're going to hit Shift A, we're going to add a new curve with the type of a path, and one important thing, we're going to switch to the edit mode and we're going to move it in the X direction while snipping to the grid. This is going to be important, and I'm going to show you why later on in the tutorial. Keep in mind that the pivot point of the path is aligned to the pivot point of the steps. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select the steps again. We're going to add a curve modifier, and then we want to specify the path as input for the curve modifier. And when we go to the floor plan, we can move these points, and as you can see, our stair is going to follow this path. So in my opinion, this is a really handy method in order to quickly sketch or quickly design stairs, and also it is a very powerful method in architectural modeling, right? So just imagine you are going to build a museum and you have some beautiful gallery over there or whatever. When you tilt the stair, you can completely influence what the user is going to see when moving up and down your stair, right? So it's going to move up, it's going to see in this direction, it's going to move further, it's going to see this direction. So that's very powerful in architectural design. As you can see, the stair has always the same height. We have specified this in our array modifier, right? So whatever is the height of your layers, you can of course specify the specific height of the stair in the array modifier. Maybe there is another situation where you don't want the stair to follow a specific height, but to follow a given line in the floor plan. What we can do here is we can also use, instead of fixed count, we can use fit curve, and this is going to allow us that the curve is going to follow the path however you're going to design it. So if I'm going to change the path in the floor plan, the stair is going to be bigger or smaller. So it gives us a lot of control on architectural modeling. So whatever you want to do, I guess there are also other applications of this kind of curve modifier. Yeah, and just to say, it is really powerful also in architectural modeling. Also very powerful in architectural modeling are rails, so people are not falling off the stairs. So in order to do this, I'm going to tap to the edit mode. I'm going to select two vertices, press the E button in order to extrude. I'm going to hit escape and press G and set +1. So sorry, don't plus, just type 1. And this is going to allow us that we are able to extrude this rail that we have drawn here for exactly 1 meter. So let's do it again over there. We're going to select these 2 points. I'm pressing E. I'm going to press escape, G, set 1, and we have exactly 1 meter of height. Just follow your local rules. So basically a rail is between 90 and 1 meter height, except you have more height if you have the whole stair is over specific heights, and you have more complex rules, but we don't go to this in detail right now. Just check your local rules. We can also scale this in the Y direction maybe a little bit in order to open up this stair. So I like this one. So when scaling in Y direction, you can specify this angle. We can also move it in the X direction in order to tilt it a little bit. Could also be a cool effect. And as you can see, everything we are going to manipulate in the first step is going to be copied through the whole stair. Of course, we can add a modifier in order to make the stair smooth, increasing the levels to avoid the quads here. So maybe there is a problem now that a lot of the stair is not really usable, right? So maybe we go to the edit mode, and we're going to make a loop cut over here. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused. Want to make a loop cut here? Yes. When turning the mouse wheel, we can increase the number of loop cuts, and this is going to allow us to make this edge to the rail a little bit less sharp. When pressing S and Y, we can also fine-tune the sharpness of this edge. But maybe let's keep it just like this. Go back to the object mode, and yeah, in my opinion, this looks quite usable. In the next step, maybe we can add a solidify modifier to the whole stair. We can increase the thickness to whatever you like. Maybe we can do some optimization here, because the rail can be way thinner than the step. So what we can do is we can go to the vertex groups, we can add a new vertex group, we can select these vertices of the rail, assign it to the vertex group, and this is going to allow us to make the solidify modifier react to this vertex group. So when we're using the vertex group over here, then we have the exact we have the opposite of what I wanted to achieve. Sorry, we have thick rails and we have thin steps, so maybe this is also cool. Yeah, I like the design basically, but if we want to switch it, we can simply go to invert over here, and then we have it the other way around, very thick steps and very thin rails. Of course, we can use the factor slider in order to specify the minimum size of the thickness sorry for pronunciation, and as mentioned before, these modifiers can be used precisely, of course. So when you type 0.15 here, you can be sure that this height, at least when going to even thickness, is going to be precise. And also here, when you press, for example, 0.25, you can be sure that this is 1/4 of the thickness of the overall thickness. So just keep in mind that the scale of the object is set to 1. So remember, shortcut Control A, apply scale. So sorry for bothering you with this stuff again, but this is very important if you want to make architectural modeling precisely in Blender. The object scale has to be 1 in order to use a precise measurements in your modifiers tab. So this looks fine for me, I would say. Maybe one important thing to notice, as you maybe have noticed, the paths I have only manipulated in the floor plan. So of course you can go to the side view, and if you select one of those points and move it in the X direction, you can go completely crazy with this one. So maybe for other applications this method can be useful. For an architectural modeling, of course you want to have all these stairs aligned straight, right? And you also want to have the slope of the stair always going to be the same. So in order to achieve this, just remember 2 more things. The path should always be straight, and as mentioned before, pivot point and path should align. So just to show the issue, when I'm going to move the path in the X direction, you can see the curve is no longer following the path as we wanted, and if you move it to the Y direction, weird stuff is going to happen, and especially the stairs are going to intersect. So we want to avoid this. We want to have the given rules of step height and step width in the middle of the stair. So if you have some variation on the sides, that's completely fine, but we don't want to stretch the overall given parameters we have set before too much. And in order to achieve this, just keep in mind pivot point is the same for path and stairs. And second thing, the path is always flat. Cool, maybe you want to copy the whole stair to another position. Of course you can do this. Just remember, copy stair and path at the same time. Select both at the same time and press Shift D in order to copy it. Then of course you're able to copy the stair. You're able to rotate it to whatever you like, and you can create copies of your design you have already made. Cool, hopefully this is useful modeling for you. We can make some quick rendering with this. So I'm going to the world setting. I'm going to change the color tab to environment texture. I'm going to use a texture that I have downloaded before. So this texture is from HDRI Heaven. This is a really cool site where you can get HDRs to experiment with. I have just take one of those construction walls. I really like this, I like this atmosphere. So when selecting an HDR image here, we can switch to set and render, and you can see the effect. So here we have an image mapped as a scene around us. So this is going to solve the lightning, reflections, and a lot of stuff for us. So just to show you how this is working, when we're going to select the material, I'm going to make a new material, and I'm just using a glossy material. I'm going to select the roughness and set it to maybe 0.05, and as you can see, all these beautiful reflections, they are done by the HDR image. So as you can see, there are these quad meshes that are quite visible here in this preview. We can set this to shade smooth. I like that the corners are smoothed out also here. If you want to avoid this, you can make an edge split to the model, then it's going to be straight. But yeah, I kind of like it, so maybe I delete this edge split again. So I really like this. It looks like a bevel. We can select both models. This one first, and we want to make the model with the material active. In order to press Ctrl L and apply the material to both. Yeah, so we're using the HDR only for the reflections, so we want to hide it. We can do this. I'm always searching for this function, sorry for that, but I guess it's here. We have in the camera tab, we have film, and we can set transparent here. Then we have a transparent background, and we have our stair. I'm going to set a camera. I'm going to look through the camera and just specify some position, maybe something like that, and press render in order to make a quick preview of what we have done here. We can also switch to cycles in order to make a little bit more fancy lightning setup. Also, it's going to take us a little bit longer to render, but for architectural modeling can be quite useful because it's ending up with a little bit more better lightnings in my opinion. There is some weird black shading around our corners, so maybe we have to add the edge split again in order to avoid this, or maybe I have told you wrong. Let's delete the edge split. I guess the problem that we have here with this black corner is the subdivision level of our rendering. So we have the levels of the viewport set to 4 and the render to 2, and I guess this is going to cause this weird issue. So we're going to make it for both stairs. I'm going to hit render again, and that's for it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully you can use it in your architectural designs. Feel free to post what you have done with it, and also feel free to post some suggestions if you have any wishes for tutorials in the next few days or weeks. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Ciao.